So yesterday, Avril Lavigne's Let Go album celebrated its 20-year anniversary, and we got a special remastered edition of the album. I love Avril, and this album holds a special place in my heart, so I was just super excited when I saw the tracks starting to drop on YouTube. And so yeah, I just want to talk about it. So first of all, the cover is essentially the same, but just with this like red hues for the background, and I think it has like a red border around the edges. So of course in the album we got the 13 original songs from Let Go, which were just remastered. I'd love to hear what you guys think about those, but what I really want to talk about is actually the 6 extra tracks that came at the bottom of the album. It's like bonus releases. So of course most of these we've known already as B-sides, or if you're anything like me, I was in a market in Thailand and there was this like CD that had like Avril Lavigne's entire discography. And that's actually how I know all these unreleased songs. That's not to say I'm not supporting the artist. I did have like her original records, but I remember seeing this at like the market and it had these tracks like All You Will Never Know and things like this. And I was like, I've never heard these songs. So I saw there was like 10 songs or something on that CD that I hadn't heard. And I was like, I need to buy this just so I can hear those songs, because there was kind of no other way of getting those tracks. I mean, we had like LimeWire, which was also kind of a way that you would type an artist name, but then you would never know what you're gonna get. Like I remember I downloaded a Simple Plan song and it was Barbie Girl, but then it wasn't actually Simple Plan, it was like some other band, and then there was like debates of who was really singing it. So you never knew what you were gonna get there. And this, even though it was a Thai market, it was still in a CD, and I think to me it just made sense that it wasn't gonna be fake. And it wasn't, and that's how I knew all these B-sides and unreleased songs. But yeah, in today's world, it's so easy to just go on YouTube or Google and you will find everything you want to find about these things. So back then, YouTube was kind of just taking off, and I don't think the notion of trying to find underground songs on YouTube was there, or at least that wasn't something I was going to think about trying to do at the time. Okay, I digress. The point is, you may or may not know some of the tracks that were just re-released in the deluxe edition. But now we're gonna talk all about them, so let's get into it. First, we start with Why. This is an exciting one because you might have heard this song from her My World DVD CD that was from her Try to Shut Me Up tour, and it was also featured as a B-side on the actual single for Complicated, alongside I Don't Give, but we'll get to that one in a little bit. So the legend goes that Why is actually one of the couple of songs that Avril Lavigne sang to L.A. Reid the day that she got signed. So that's also what makes the song, I think, a lot more interesting in terms of like history. But in general, I really love this song, and I was kind of disappointed that it was just on the DVD CD rather than it being on the actual album as a bonus track, because I feel like it's really underrated and very underappreciated. But I was always disappointed that it didn't get more recognition, so I'm just really happy to see it back. The Why on the My World DVD is actually like an acoustic take on the song. I always thought that was just the original song, but now that we have this new version, this is actually more fleshed out. It has more instruments, it has a really different kind of emotion and ambience to it. Musically, it's a lot heavier and it's a lot more like let go-y. Like it really feels like it would have fit on the album very well. It's not supposed to feel this way. It's not supposed to hurt this way. Lyrically, it's almost the same, but instead of her saying it's not supposed to feel this way, it's not supposed to hurt this way, she just says it's not supposed to hurt this way, it's not supposed to hurt this way, which is an interesting choice and change. I wonder why they did that. It does kind of retaliate this like pain of like, oh, it's not supposed to hurt this way, but I still feel like it's not supposed to feel this way has equal amounts of emotion to it behind it. This version also has like a kind of atmospheric mumble at the start and throughout the song. I couldn't figure out what she was saying. I love hearing this other version of the song. It's really cool to hear a different take on it and to hear something that sounds really like could have belonged in the actual album. But ultimately, I think I still prefer the acoustic rendition of the song. But now let's talk about Get Over It. So this is a track that I've always loved, and it was released as the B-side for Skater Boy. There was 2 versions of the song, so the demo version was a little bit different lyrically. When this one says, "Don't turn around, I'm sick and I'm tired of your face," the demo version says, "Don't turn around because you will get punched in the face." I always liked the demo version more because it was a little bit more like teen angsty, and of course I was at that age where you wanted to hear something more aggressive, I guess. Now when this was released, I was kind of hoping it was gonna be that version of the song, but it wasn't. And from the collection of B-sides from that era, I think this is one of the better ones, so I'm glad that it's getting more attention and more recognition now. I actually always wondered like if Avril remembered recording these songs, or like if she remembers the lyric for these songs, because I feel like they're so, I mean, it's 20 years ago, even probably older than 20 years at this point, and she's never performed these or, you know, done anything with them since just being B-sides or having them unreleased. But it's nice to see then that she does keep these in mind, and obviously that's why they have been included. Now let's move to Breakaway. As you'll probably know, Avril Lavigne wrote Breakaway for her album Let Go, but then they decided that it didn't really fit like the vibe of it, so she ended up not including it and it went to Kelly Clarkson. It peaked within the top 20 of multiple European countries and in the top 10 in Australia, Belgium, Hungary, and the Netherlands. In the US, the song peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and became the third top 10 song in the chart. It also topped the US Adult Contemporary for 21 non-consecutive weeks, a record for a female artist that is now shared between Kelly Clarkson, Celine Dion's A New Day Has Come, and Adele's Hello. So essentially the song was a massive success for Kelly Clarkson, that she even like changed the title of her album to be Breakaway because the song was performing so well. Now, Avril Lavigne's demo went unheard for years, which was really frustrating for fans like me who wanted to hear her version of the song, because I knew that she had written it, but there was no leaked demo of it up until about 2014, 2015 when it was actually leaked. And for me, it was a huge deal that it was leaked. I was so excited to get to hear her version of it. So when that demo was leaked in 2014, 2015, it was very much in line with the style of the other like B-sides and unreleased songs from Avril's Let Go era. But what's really cool now is that we're not just getting a demo, but she's actually just re-recorded the song. Like, this is actually her singing it now with her voice more mature at a completely different stage in her life, 20 years after having written it. Lyrically, the song is pretty much the same, except Kelly would sing When the Rain Would Fall Down, and Avril's original version says When the Snow Would Fall Down, obviously because she is from Canada, while Kelly Clarkson is from Texas, so she probably could not relate to the original When the Snow Would Fall Down lyric. It's interesting how she's grown into the song from not remembering the lyrics. I watched a radio interview where they asked her about it. She has like no idea what the lyrics were, like she sings a really small chunk of it. And then she went on to actually like putting the song as part of her set list on her tour, and now she's just full on re-recorded it for us and included it in her 20-year anniversary re-release of Let Go. Now we're gonna talk about Falling Down. This song was apparently released for the soundtrack of Sweet Home Alabama, which is a movie that I haven't seen, and I don't think I even knew that that's where this song came from. For me, this was just one of those underground tracks that like people didn't really know unless they were really hardcore Avril Lavigne fans. Now, the song has some like really catchy elements to it, alright, but it also is just, lyrically, it has some moments that are not the best. Before you're old, you are young. Someday I'll live in a house, etc., etc., etc. But all things aside, the song is really catchy. Like I said, it has a very similar feel to these other B-sides or unreleased songs like Move Your Little Self On, All You Will Never Know, Headset, this kind of sound. But I've always digged that era. Like, I love those like unreleased or B-side tracks that I feel like people don't really know, and they sound very different as well. Like, they're not even in the Let Go sound. They have like their own kind of style to them. Before she was signed, she was performing in this style of music, so you can also kind of see the progression going there. So during one of her performances back home, she was spotted by a local folk singer, Stephen Med. He invited her to contribute vocals on his song Touch the Sky for his 1999 album QUIENTE Spirits. She later sang on Temple of Life and Two Rivers for his follow-up album My Window to You in the 2000s. These songs were very much in that style, so that's definitely where the influence came from. Those album covers from back then, she's so cute and so like different looking. Like, she looks like a completely different type of person than someone who 2 years later would go on to release Skater Boy. And now we're gonna talk about I Don't Give. This song was a soundtrack from the American Wedding movie, and she was also performing this track during the Try to Shut Me Up tour. Or she would actually sing the demo version of the song, which is the one that has like the swear words, whereas the recording version just says I don't give it up, I don't give a damn. So again, the demo version was a little bit more angsty and like angry teen kind of thing. So naturally, that was always my favorite version of the song. It was also the way that she would sing it live during the Try to Shut Me Up tour, which is something that I always really liked as well. But since we're talking about it, I was like freaking obsessed with the Try to Shut Me Up tour. I was playing that DVD non-stop. So I was slightly disappointed that that was not the version that was included for the Let Go anniversary CD. I feel like that would have made a little bit more sense because that was the version that she was touring with at the time. It's very upbeat and fun and angsty, and I've always loved this track. And now we reach the final track, Makeup. So this song was never actually officially released, but it was leaked in around 2008. So it's interesting that she chose to include it for this. And this release is a lot more produced than the actual leaks. So for example, you will notice that the bridge sounds completely different in terms of effects on the vocals on the new version than it did on the leaked version. The song is about being yourself. It's very Avril Lavigne in that sense, just to be honest with yourself and like not care about what other people around you are doing. And to be completely honest, from all her like B-sides and under-released tracks or like leaked tracks, I personally think she had better songs that she could have included. For example, Falling Into History. Oh my god. I'm so heartbroken that that song gets like no recognition. In the end, Falling Into History was a song that she ended up giving to Brie Larson. But I think that didn't really take off or go anywhere. But I find it to be such a beautiful song, and it was always one of my favorites from the unreleased tracks. So I wish that one had made the cuts. Like, I really just want her to re-record it or to do like a live performance of it. Another great candidate could have been the song Let Go. So it's interesting that she named the album after the track, but then obviously didn't include it. But now would have kind of been like a perfect time to put it into the album. I feel like it would have made a lot of sense to have it in. But I still find it cool that all these like unreleased or underground songs are getting attention. And talking about just like the 20-year anniversary, it's really cool that she did this like remastered re-release and then included old tracks and re-recorded Breakaway. Like, that's all really fun and really cool. But I think something that would have been for me more like exciting would have been if she had just done like a stripped down performance of her whole album from start to finish. Because a lot of those songs have not been played in years. Like Anything But Ordinary hasn't been performed since 2005. That's a crime, if you ask me. Mobile and Naked have also not been performed since 2005. My World and Too Much to Ask haven't been performed since 2003. So I feel like it would have been like a cooler event if she had just done like a live stream where she did like a concert, acoustic version even. It didn't have to be anything super fleshed out, but just going through each track. I think that would have been amazing. But anyway, that's it for this video. I want to know what you guys think about the remastered versions of the original songs on the album. I didn't really get into that in the video. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you prefer them? Do you still like the old ones better? Are you going to be listening to both? And what do you think about the bonus track selection? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye! Just in case you were curious about this, Unwanted hasn't been performed since 2014, so Unwanted's good, at least it's kind of recent. Tomorrow since 2012, Things I'll Never Say was last performed in 2014, but I think before that it had been a while since it had been performed. My World since 2003, Nobody's Fool since 2004, and Naked since 2005. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for checking this out, and I'll see you all in my next one.